show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're looking at the Neca Alien Resurrection Ripley 8 figure. Now this is one of two figures in Series 14, the Neca's Alien Resurrection wave. There's also the Deluxe Newborn and the Super Ultra Deluxe The Queen. Now notice this is Ripley 8, not just Ripley. Ripley 8 is actually kind of a different character. It was a clone of Ripley, and since the clone was taken after she was impregnated, her DNA had some alien in it as well. So she's got a little bit of alien in her too. She does have Ripley's memories, so she kind of is Ripley and kind of isn't. Looks like she comes with some pretty cool accessories. Two weapons here, which I'll have to look up their names, as well as a basketball, very appropriate for the movie. She has, of course, her movie accurate outfit. See here, Ripley 8, kind of looks like the ship, the packaging. Here she is, a couple guns, the basketball, Alien Resurrection at the top. On the side you can see her with the basketball, other side with the gun and an alien. The bottom we've got a barcode, as well as a bunch of credits. And then on the back, here she is holding one of her guns. And then here's the other figures, the newborn, Ripley, and the alien. And I did end up getting two of these figures. The extra accessories will be nice, and I'll probably do either some customizing or something with this other Ripley figure. So, with no further ado, let's open them up. And this figure came with a huge lot of figures from Amazon.com. I try to only buy from Amazon or eBay when I'm buying in multiples, because their shipping is something like $11 for one figure. For getting all 9 of these figures, it was only, I think, $16.99. The funny thing is, the same order on eBay was like $42 shipped. Kind of odd how their pricing is so inconsistent. Alright, well now that we got this figure out of the package, here she is with all of her accessories laid out. She comes with 2 alternate hands which are open, presumably able to handle the basketball properly. She has a basketball, which is pretty cool from the basketball scene from Alien Resurrection. And she has 2 weapons that are screen accurate. On the left here we've got the Lacrima 99 shock rifle, and on the right we have the Draco double burner. Hasbro released versions of these many years ago, and we'll be pairing them with each other. But before we look at the accessories, let's check out the actual figure. It's not my favorite design of Ripley, but they've really done a good job on the figure. The face likeness is a lot better than before. Her hair is very accurate to the movie. The outfit, if I'm not mistaken, this was actually intended to be Cal's outfit in the film, and when Sigourney Weaver saw it, she kind of threw a fit and had them change it to her character. Found that kind of interesting. But the detail on the figure is quite nice. I love this number 8 tattoo on her arm. I think it'd be so cool if NECA made like a creature accessory pack with Ripley clones 1 through 7. But I feel like that might be even too gruesome for them. Overall, very nice execution of this Ripley. And like I said before, she may not be my favorite Ripley, but the figure is on point. And then here are both the figures with all their accessories laid out in front of them. And then here's the figure broken down as far as she can go with all of her removable parts detached. So next let's take a look at her actual accessories. Let's go and start off by checking out her hands. And then here she is with her semi-open gripping hands, trigger finger. These here will allow her to hold her guns, but we'll get to that shortly. And then here she is with her completely open hands. One thing I do want to point out that I think is really cool in this figure is on her hand she's got the black painted nails, just like in the film. She had some sort of long, sort of ever so slightly alien-esque nails. Next I'll take a look at her basketball, and it's pretty cool for what it is. An in-scale 1/12 or so basketball. I noticed they don't have a brand name on there like Spalding, because I'm sure that would cost a bunch of money to be able to do that. Pretty cool. I can think of a ton of uses for a basketball in my action figure collection, whether it be a bunch of guys playing basketball in the streets or giving it to the DC villain Sportsmaster. A lot of options here. And then of course, since I got 2 of these figures, I've got 2 of these basketballs. always like getting real world accessories to enhance my action figure world. And honestly, this figure doesn't do the best job holding her basketball. This is about the best you can do. Get her to sort of cup it from underneath. You really can't get her to hold it on two sides, hold it like this, like I'd like. I mean, you can balance it in one of her hands like so, but kind of like, eh. I remember in the film, she actually was trying to do that shot where she shoots the basketball behind her and makes a three-pointer without looking. And as I recall in the DVD extras, she tried doing this at least 100 times, and the last attempt, they actually made it and caught it on film. They were about to give up and sort of split the scene into two shots. Just kind of a little cool bit of trivia there. Now let's check out her weapons. Like I said before, this one is the Lacrima 99 shock rifle. This weapon's pretty decent. They both have a strap, which is made of a soft material, bendable. The detailing is pretty nice on this gun. It's mostly silver and black, but a lot of sculpting details. Even the trigger has some sculpting on the back of it. Overall, I would say this gun is a pretty well executed accessory. And then here are my two NECA shock rifles compared to 3 different Alien Resurrection Hasbro shock rifles. This came with the Alien Resurrection Ripley figure from way back in the day. Honestly, not sure how I have different color versions. The one that I had from Ripley was the gray one. I didn't actually get the other two from any figures. I got it from a huge weapon accessory lot I got on eBay a long time ago. But as you can see, the NECA one sculpt is way better, but still kind of cool to have been rocking these weapons for years already. And then here she is holding the shock rifle. The detail's pretty nice. The handle's a little bit big for her hand. Trigger finger fits in there pretty good. It does have the strap so you can holster it. Overall, pretty decent weapon. And then here she is wielding both of the shock rifles. Her left hand does not hold the weapon nearly as well as the right hand. And then here she is with the weapon holstered on her shoulder, behind her back. You can see here, fits and looks very good. You can tuck the strap under her hair to really add some stability to that. And then here's the Draco double burner. As you can see here, this one's got gray, silver, and black. It has the soft strap as well. Sculpt, honestly, very nice. Liking what I'm seeing here. And then here are both of my Draco double burners. Compared with the old Hasbro version, much softer sculpt, but you can sure see they are the same weapon. This one came with the Cal figure from back in the day. So you may not be able to see it very well, but this Draco double burner does have 2 different handles and 2 different triggers on there. This weapon actually has 3 different functions in the film. It can be a regular rifle, it can also be a flamethrower, and it can also have a grenade launcher attached to it. So I would assume that either one of these handles is for using either the rifle mode or flamethrower mode. Kind of reminiscent of from Aliens when Ripley taped a flamethrower and a pulse rifle together. And then here she is holding the weapon with her right hand, supporting it with her left hand. She's currently got it in the more forward of the 2 trigger handles. And then here she is holding the other trigger handle a little bit further back on the weapon here. And then here she is holding 2 of the Draco double burners. And then here she is with this weapon holstered onto her shoulder again, on her backside. Once again, fits pretty good. Tuck it at her hair, completely stabilize it. And then I also have 4 of these weapons here. The gray one came with Ripley. She came with one of the other weapons as well as this. My research online, I really couldn't figure out what this thing was called. There are plenty of websites that talk about the Alien Resurrection weapons, but did not see one that was like this. Also not sure where I got the black ones from. And then here are all of my Hasbro alien weapons together. If anyone knows where the black ones came from, please throw in the comments below. Coincidentally, I have 8 Weyland-Yutani soldiers, so I gave these weapons to them to have sort of a futurific, different weapon style versus the Marines. And of course I took their black pulse rifles and gave it to some custom Marines of mine. Now that we've taken a pretty in-depth look at her accessories, next let's check out the height of this figure. This is a NECA figure. They're typically the 7-inch scale, which means that a human who's about 6 feet tall would be 7 inches tall in this scale. So this figure here, from foot to head, is sitting at right about an even 7.0 inches. Next, let's check out this figure's articulation. So, of course, her head here, it can go from side to side, a little bit obstructed by her hair at the back, doesn't allow it to go all the way around. She can look down about that far, and up, really not at all. Shoulders go out a full 90 degrees. There's a ball joint inside of here. They go up, down, around, obstructed ever so slightly by this shoulder pad here. Then her elbows, they go forward about 90 degrees, and they do have a swivel above there as well. Her wrist is on just sort of a peg. It can turn around, and I wouldn't call it a hinge, but it can move up and down just a hair like that. Underneath here, I believe it's one solid piece. There's no ab crunch. She does have a ball joint here. Gives you a waist rotation, and it can go forward and back a little bit as well. So with her legs completely straight and her head combined, she can look down about that far and up about that far. Her hips go just about 90 degrees. There's a ball joint side of here, and the legs are going to move independently of the ball joint as well. Then go forward about that far, really not too much, and back, really not at all. Single jointed knees go in about that far. There is a swivel above, and then her feet then go up and down a little bit. They can rotate from side to side, and they can't really rock. Next, let's show how this figure compared to some other action figures, starting with some other Alien Resurrection figures, and then looking at some other Ripley figures. And then here she is next to the Alien Resurrection Warrior. Ripley and this figure together comprise Series 14, the first time NECA's made a 2-figure series. And then here would be all the figures I got from Series 14. You can see 6 Xenomorphs in the background, and 2 Ripleys here in the front. 6 Xenomorphs because, well, there were way more than 6 in the film, and 2 Ripleys because, obviously, one to have as Ripley, and one to kind of do whatever I want to do with it in the future, whether it be head swap with a different Ripley, or some general customization. And then here she is next to the newborn. This is a deluxe figure. I would consider the newborn to be Ripley's granddaughter. Ripley was sort of the mother of the Queen, and then the Queen birthed the newborn. Of course, when the newborn came out, it didn't recognize the alien Queen as its mother. It would not accept its rightful place in the hive. It decided to kill the Queen, and then it went to Ripley to look at Ripley as her mother. I guess it recognized the human side of Ripley more so than the alien side of itself, which, if you look at it, it's kind of hard to believe. And then here's the newborn and Ripley getting ready to give a little hugging, some warm embrace. And then here's Ripley 8 next to the Alien Resurrection Queen. As you can see, she's probably 3.5 times taller than Ripley. And then here's Ripley next to one of each figure from the Alien Resurrection collection by NECA. I believe this is going to complete NECA's Alien Resurrection collection. We've got the Alien Warrior, Ripley 8, the Newborn, and the Queen. Not really sure what other figures they could give us. Battle Damage Xenomorph, I don't really want that. I would love a creature accessory set with Ripley clones 1 through 7. I would absolutely love the human figures. Cal, Johnner, Freeze, etc., but I personally don't really think we're going to get them. Hasbro did make a Cal way back in the day, so her likeness rights have been sold before and probably could be again. Wishful thinking, you never know. And then here she is next to my entire Alien Resurrection NECA collection. We've got 6 of the Warriors, 2 of the Newborns, 2 Ripleys, and the Queen, thus concluding my collection from the 4th Alien film. Here she is next to some Hasbro Alien Resurrection figures. We've got the most normal brown alien that I could find. There were like a transparent and a water teal version. There's Cal and Ripley at the front here, and then of course the newborn in the back. These guys are from even before the McFarlane line. Here she is compared with her previous release of Ripley. This was from probably every bit of 15, if not more years ago. Sculpt is extremely soft on this Hasbro figure. I mean, you can see what they were going for, but boy, it's weak. This NECA thing is amazing compared to this. Articulation is horrible. This figure here is pretty much about 6 inches though. So next, let's check out compared to some more Ripley figures. Here she is next to my favorite Ripley figure from each one of the Alien films. Here she is next to all the Ripley figures they've released from Alien. We've got her in her jumpsuit as well as her in her spacesuit. Not sure what else they can give us from this film unless they give us an end-filled panties version. I doubt they'll ever do that. Here she is next to all the Ripleys from the film Aliens. These are 3 different versions. One was a single release, one was a 2-pack with Newt, and one was a later bomber jacket single release. And I do have a few extras for custom or backup purposes. And then here she is next to a couple of Alien 3 Ripleys, one with her jacket on, one with her jacket off. I took one of them and head swapped with an Aliens Ripley just so she would have long hair, kind of switched up a little bit. She did have long hair at the beginning of the film before she shaved it off, but she never actually wore this outfit with the long hair. And then, of course, with the other Alien Resurrection Ripley. And then we've got the old Kenner tribute Ripley. This is sort of based off the film Aliens, but sort of Kenner twisted version. I do have a bunch of extras of these. Pretty sure I got some in a huge lot of Alien figures that I got on eBay for a really, really cheap price and haven't done anything with them yet. And then here she is next to all my different Ellen Ripley figures and their extras. And then here's another Ripley figure, Amanda Ripley. This is Ripley's daughter from the game Alien Isolation, which is really good, by the way. Next, let's check her out with some other recent NECA Alien releases. Here are a couple of the aliens from the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Superman vs. Aliens 2-pack. These guys are made on the identical Alien Resurrection body, just painted differently, so they fit in pretty nicely with the Alien Resurrection line. And then here she is next to the recently released Alien 3 Creature Pack. Here she is next to the 2017 year-end NECA Club exclusive figure. Here she is next to Dutch and Lynn, the human figures from the 1994 Alien vs. Predator arcade game line. So this Ripley figure is one of 2 figures that made up NECA Aliens Series 14. Here she is next to NECA Alien Series 13. This is a Kenner homage wave. It had the Scorpion Alien, Kenner Apone, and the Snake Alien. Now, we don't officially know what Series 15 is going to be. We do know the next set of figures that NECA is going to be making is from the first Alien film for its 40th anniversary. We've seen the Ultimate Big Chap, which will be coming out in the next couple months, and that'll be a single release. We've seen pictures of Brent and Parker. We don't exactly know when they're coming out. Should be soon. They may or may not be Series 15. They could be their own Alien 40th anniversary sort of separate wave. If that was the case, then Series 15 should be Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. NECA's announced they're getting ready to re-release that Warrior, and they have an Ultimate Pred Alien on the way. Not to mention an Ultimate Wolf on the Predator side too. The next wave should not be a Kenner wave. NECA has said they're doing Kenner waves every 3 waves. And if Series 13 was a Kenner wave, it should be Series 16 next time. I'm guessing that that Kenner wave is going to coincide with the release of the Ultimate Rhino that they've shown. Here she is next to a couple of engineers from Prometheus. Here she is next to a couple of Ultimate Predators. This is the Ultimate Jungle Hunter and Ultimate City Hunter. And here are Weyland Yutani doing experiments on Ripley 8. Now, I know in the film Alien Resurrection, they said that Walmart bought out Weyland Yutani in the special edition, but that's absolute madness. That's a throwaway line that should be ignored, never to be thought of again. Like I said before, here's Weyland-Yutani extracting the alien from Ripley. Alright, so I must say this is a very nice figure. The likeness to Sigourney Weaver is great. The detail to the outfit is fantastic. Really liking that tattoo on her arm. This is Ripley 8. Sort of Ripley, sort of not Ripley. If I were to rate this figure, I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. It is a very nice sculpt. Good quality control as well. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you want to say anything about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll talk to you guys real soon.